Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Three Slips and Silly Points. We've got myself at first slip. We got Raj at second slip, and you guys have already noticed we are down a slip fielder.
Down to it was.
Yeah. So it's down to two slips, and we'll try to bring in all the silly points that our third slip fielder brings in. And firstly, a big shout out to everyone that's been listening to us, following us. We made it to 50 followers. Yay. And as part of the celebrations, our third slip fielder celebrated a party and he's resting up.
Can't make it.
So he's partied on behalf of all of us.
Classic.
And because of 50 followers and the parties, we haven't recorded in a while. And now that we're done, we're out of the hangover, we'll get to the usual recording stage. While we haven't recorded for nearly a week and a half, and I just can't believe how much cricket's being played all around the world, we'll try and touch or cover off everything in multiple episodes. We can't promise to have all done in just one episode. So let's kick it off with the English, Aussie English T20 and one day series. T20s evened out, 1-1 and the third one was washed out. But, the joy of having a 5 one-day series was so good to watch. Aussies made it finally. But what a turnaround of or what an emphasis on having a 5-match series rather than a 3-game series.
Yeah, and they also found a new bowler, and Travis said a death bowler. I'm pretty sure he got 4 wickets in the last game, and I think he bowled the 50th over in one of the games also.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. I just don't understand. Like that man, I thought was the bane for India, but now he's coming good for all teams basically.
Really?
And again, I think they came together real nicely for Champions Trophy now too, because they've got a solid group of people they know they're going to play. And a lot of the other teams don't know that yet because they haven't been playing as much ODIs.
Sure.
Yeah, I really hope New Zealand also have a go like this at 5 ODIs, but I don't think they have a cluster like that.
They don't. Travis Head, man, out of nowhere. I mean, we all knew his capability with bat, but getting, a ridiculous number of wickets with the ball, and that too bowling in death overs at key turning points.
Yeah. And the crazy part for me was, whenever he scored runs, they won. Whenever he didn't, he got wickets and they won. But the games they didn't do anything in, they lost. So I reckon key player to watch in ODIs for Australia, Mr. Head. Yeah. Wow. Hopefully he doesn't let his head get too big though.
248 runs, 6 wickets. We all knew about the runs bit, but the wickets in the series did really surprise me. And like I said, just in time for Champions Trophy, and they've got quite a few more ODIs against Pakistan at home before leading into Champions Trophy. So a perfect way to pick your team or try all your combinations before big series.
Was Marsh injured in the last game? Because I think Stephen Smith's captained.
No, it was Harry Brooks.
No, Australia.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah, Stephen Smith captained.
He did.
Must. Yeah. Return of the bad boy as a captain. Not so bad for the first outing.
Oh yeah, first outing in a long time, right?
Yeah.
He's still got it. I mean, we all knew he's a class player who was a great captain. And every time the hat gets thrown to him, he stood up.
Yeah. Also a great carpenter here.
How can we forget about it?
Yeah, and won't let anyone forget about it either.
But
Yeah, I think outside of that, yeah,
so I was saying, from a 2-0 lead, they conceded next two
three,
games, and it was
yeah,
quite a convincing win from England for the next two games as well. One
yeah,
is one with the assistance of DLS, big win of close to 50 runs. That
yeah,
was the
yeah,
third ODI. The fourth one, Aussie all out for 126, and they lost like last 10 wickets for 50 odd runs.
yeah, yeah. And like they got a decent score even on this last game, but
Yeah.
somehow I, I think Matthew Short got them good.
Oh, big time. I think
Yeah,
DLS and everyone, if you look at their except for Mr. Captain, who I think was playing an anchor innings, everyone's track record was
yeah,
over 100. So they sort of knew
yeah,
it was going to rain, and they essentially stayed ahead of the DLS all along.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like 300 is definitely not a safe score on ODIs anymore.
Not anymore. Three, growing up, I still remember back in the 2003 World Cup, you had 260, 270 was sort of semi-decent score, and it could go
It's
either
too big.
ways.
It's too big.
300 is like comfy, right? You could probably chill out. You could start partying after halftime.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and these
Not
days,
anymore.
the game that redefined the scoring was that 435 chase by South Africa against Australia. And I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
this is, every now and then you see the glimpses of what future holds for you. That game said, oh my God, if batters have got this sort of strength, and that game was the example of when the boundaries get smaller and smaller, what could happen. And these days, you don't have, grounds that is longer than 75
Yeah.
meters in either
But
direction.
and 75's meant to be a decent sized boundary.
Yeah.
But
But
like the bats nowadays are a lot better now, where they
yeah,
can just time it.
even
Oh
miss
God.
hits from us, decent players. We'll get to a few miss hits from KL Rahul.
Yeah,
Just go across the boundary, and
it's
for
too
a
good.
moment the bowler thinks, I'm gonna get a wicket, and then realize, no, I'm dreaming.
Not today. Not today, sir. Not today.
uh,
Cool.
yeah. I think after this, England's gonna go to Pakistan for a test series.
For some baseball. You mean for some baseball?
I reckon so. And then Pakistan's gonna come to Australia for some ODI, so it's busy action time.
Ah. So no test matches for Pakistan
No
and
tests,
Australia.
no tests. It's just, I think,
Interesting.
if I'm not wrong, it's ODIs and T20s.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Um,
Sorry.
and then the other big game,
Oh,
the man with a crazy bat,
yeah,
the Lankan
what?
gangs.
What? Okay, we'll probably lead into it. We're talking about South Africa, Sri Lanka, New Zealand, the
Lanka, New
two test
Zealand. Yeah.
series. And my dream of enforcing a follow on has finally come true, and I just can't believe that it happened. I hope this revives the whole concept of enforcing the follow on.
But I feel like that's because they all played like a true test innings in the first innings, because no one gets to 600 now. And like if
Exactly.
you don't get to that kind of score, there's no way you can
You could
like
enforce a
enforce a
follow on.
final one anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and on top of that, they only scored 88. Like they literally like Lankans didn't even bowl for that long. I think New Zealand players were just like, sir, it's too big. I'm out. Like I need to get out.
It feels, the bowlers would have spoken to the captains like, hey, let's not enforce follow on. We want rest, and captains say, what? You guys just bowl under 40 overs. What are you talking about?
and, and and then you use three bowlers for the 40
That's it.
overs.
Yeah. And
And even in the three bowlers, two bowlers did the bulk of the bowling.
exactly, I was gonna say that Fernando just bowled like 4 overs and got a wicket, and
Yeah,
then essentially the
I'm
rest
out.
of the players were all right, let's not interrupt, let this spin deal and crack along.
Yeah,
But
I feel like yeah,
so I was saying, from a turn from sort of a disaster start in England for Sri Lanka to winning that last game and carrying the momentum. We know it's hard to beat a subcontinent team in subcontinent, except for Pakistan. Um, um,
I still blame their pitches, not the team.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's a controversial. I would probably say Bangladesh was on a roll, but yeah, going back to Sri
Yeah.
Lanka, we knew it was going to be a tough tour for New Zealand, but never expected this sort of tough conditions for the visitors to basically get a read of the pitch, right? Following
Wait,
for
any team that's not in the subcontinent and they come in and they open the bowling with spinners, they're just like, sir,
yeah,
just tell us where to put the bats, we'll go back. It's all good. It's done and dusted.
yeah.
I don't want to bet here. I'm out.
That pitch was, true test sort of pitch where for the first couple of days it was so nice and juicy for the batters, and then started to turn, and you could clearly see, 605 in first innings, and then it was so hard business, and I was
Yeah.
even surprised that New
And
Zealand got to that score in the second innings.
oh yeah, yeah. And that's where you can see that hey, they can survive and they can like bat for ages if they wanted to. Just lack of application in the first innings, I reckon.
Yeah.
But the crazy part for me was you should see their faces when like, yep, finished off 600. They're like, yep, licking our lips to come back on this pitch, and the ball turns and they're like, oh, it's still good, just a bit of turn. We can still play this. We can still play this. And then a couple letters later, the ball gets a little softer, and now the ball doesn't bounce as much, and they're like, oh, turn and no bounce. I'm out. I'm out. I can't do this. And for me, the nicer bit was to see Conway get some runs in the second innings because that
Yes.
man's been in a horrible form and a role for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember when he first came into the team, he used to get massive amount of runs. Like it wasn't just like centuries; it would be like big centuries. And he could bat for long. I mean, even this innings isn't a true test innings because he went run a ball. But just having some sort of runs under his belt, I'm hoping he comes good in the next game. But yeah, I think they need to stick on the pitch for a lot longer to be competitive. Yeah, I'm really hoping they hook us up in the next game.
The other key batsman was, like always, Mr. Rescue Man for Sri Lanka, Kamindu Mendes. And this guy changed the condition, changed the opponent, changed every possible permutation combination, but he goes out, gets those big runs.
Do you know what I feel? I think he just competes with his other batters in the lineup. It's like if you get a low score, then I'll just rescue you and get like an 80 odd or 100. If you get 100, then I will stay not out and double your score.
But what a great find for Sri Lanka cricket, and
Oh my God.
like I was, there's always a generation of Fab Fours that come their way, and to me, Sri Lanka never had anyone added to that, famous Fab Four bucket. But the way he's playing, I feel he's soon gonna be inducted into the new gen Fab Four.
Yeah. I mean, the man's had tests at home, has played in a whole series outside, and after that, guess how much he's averaging?
50?
91. I mean, part of the reason is 188 not out, and he's only played like 8 games, which is still 13 innings, still a lot, right? And to average 91. Right now, he's only second to Don Bradman.
I'll take that number, right? And as long as how short-lived that story is gonna be, I'm gonna be happy. I could always go back and say, at a point in time, I had an average of 91 after 13 innings.
Yeah, I mean his first class average is 65, so it's gonna stay up. It's not gonna go that much lower. But yeah, I mean that man can bat, and on top of that, he's an all-rounder. He can bowl.
Yeah. How crazy was that? When I didn't realize that he could bowl until I was doing a bit of reading about him, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a perfect person, a perfect player for a team, right? perfect
It's like
middle order all rounder.
yeah. I reckon he's got the potential to become, maybe too early to say, but a brown Jack Callis.
I hope someone comes up from the subcontinent. And yeah, this guy,
Oh,
I'm sure we're gonna
wait,
be
if you see Jack Callis's stats, right? He's like Zahir Khan and Tendulkar rolled into one person.
exactly. I've seen that. I've seen that stat.
Um,
I'm sure we're gonna keep talking about this guy for a long time,
no, coming to,
and a good
yeah,
player
for
to watch
sure.
out to. And this is what is making me think look promising for. This is what is looking promising for Sri Lanka cricket. Jayasuriya with his aggressive batting mindset comes into the dressing room as a head coach. However long this
Yeah,
gig's gonna last, but he's definitely left a mark behind on this young team or up and coming. I should not say young,
yeah.
but up and
And
coming team.
and I think I read somewhere he extended his coaching stint for another year or two.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. Because it was a temporary coach job when he first started in England, and
yeah,
now he's extended it. So maybe
nice.
these couple wins have sparked some interest.
But again, this win of Sri Lanka against New Zealand keeps them alive in the WTC contenders.
Yeah,
They've got
yeah,
two more
yeah.
games against South Africa in South Africa and two against Australia at home. So to me, it feels that Australia Sri Lanka series, if South Africa survives in Sri Lanka, sorry, if Sri Lanka survives in South Africa, they get a win out there
Yeah,
and draws something like that.
yeah.
That Sri Lanka Australia is going to be sort of the game the series that's going to decide who's going to join. Most likely India in the finals of WTC.
I don't know about India. I feel like it all depends. It all depends. It's actually a pretty good segue to our next game that's currently on right now, which everyone forgot about. Um,
Oh man,
Literally
yeah.
everyone. So I remember, like you just told me that you forgot about it. I messaged someone else. I'm like, oh shit, that game's still on. I'm like, yeah, I know it's still on.
uh, uh,
And they're smashing it too.
yeah, I love the whole mindset of the Indian team at this point. Back in the day, it was all let's push for a draw, let's play for a draw, and now it's more no, 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 let's make a game out of this. Who would have
Yeah,
thought when almost 2 and 3/4 days, for 2 full days and 2 full sessions were washed out? Who would have thought that there would be a game going into day five and a pretty balanced or leaning towards one team?
yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
let's put,
there's no way India can lose, right? The state the game's in
yeah,
right now. And it's Sri Lanka's to make it a draw out of something, I guess. But the crazy part is this is the magic of WTC, I think, because if you pull out WTC, right, no one cares. Like they'll just bat for
exactly.
the draw and finish it.
Yeah,
No need to take any risks. But
yeah.
now that they know there's a championship on the line, people will do some crazy stuff, and
But
and that's why it becomes real interesting.
exactly. And I was looking at all the like I said, someone texted in one of the WhatsApp groups on that cricket. I'm loving it. I'm like, what's happening? That's when I realized India scored 130 odd in 15 overs, and then they had
Uh,
the fastest 50, fastest 100,
200,
fastest 150, 200, 250.
yeah,
This is this, and smashed through like a bunch of records. India collectively have scored 96 sixes
wow.
in this year to 24
Oh wow,
so far
yeah,
in tests only, and that's by far the highest any team has ever scored in 1 year. The previous best
oh
was
yeah,
England at 87 sixes. And for a moment, I'm like, why are we talking about sixes at test matches? Doesn't make sense. But that was essentially the game yesterday. The crowd
yeah, yeah.
were treated to a T20 fest when they thought they're gonna come and witness a classic test innings.
Yeah. The crazy thing for me was like the reason the attack became more easy on Bangladesh while batting was because they never got stuck on crease. like even their good bowls, like I think they even said it over commentary, but like anything that was bowled decent, they're still able to maneuver it for a single.
Yeah.
Because every single person, they had at one point they had 8 people on the boundary, and then they reduced it down to 7. And I was just like, if a new batter comes in, surely you're gonna have to try put some pressure on him. But they're like, no, it's all good. We'll just wait for them to declare, and we'll try save as many runs as possible and see how we go.
And you could clearly see how easy it was for new players to sort of start rotating the strike. KL had probably the best innings that we've seen by far, and he had all the luxury and freedom to just go bang bang, and he made a full use of it.
Yeah. The funniest figure for me was Jadeja when he like ran towards the bowler, and they didn't even have anyone close in. The ball went to covers. That's how long. Like that's how much he ran. Funny.
Have you managed to see that Virat Kohli punts run out? And I'm like, oh my god!
The best part for me was Bunt looked at him, and as soon as he survived, he just like ran to him to give him a hug. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Yeah.
I think, I mean, to me, it felt only Pant could have done what he has done. If one put Kohli in danger and then go and give him a hug straight away.
Yeah.
Like
Kohli's face was like, how can I even be angry at this guy? So nice.
I still remember Rehane, was it Rehane? Yeah, Rehane getting Kohli out in, and then
what a Glasgow.
Yeah, in Australia, and then Rehan was like, oh my god, what I was done, and he took a punt. He didn't even made an eye contact with Kohli after that. But a test match just came back alive from nowhere. And going into day 5, Bangladesh 26-2, still trailing by about 25 runs, if I'm not wrong. So we've got a cracker of a game ahead of us. Hey, the other big stat is Mr. Jadeja getting his 300th wicket, and he joins the elite club of 300 wickets and 3,000 runs. Third Indian to do it, 15th overall, third lefty to do this. So quite a big achievement.
Wait, when the wind was blowing on the east side, he's the 4th left-hander to do something else. No, but sorry, the other big stat for me was how good Mominal batted in the first innings. Like the only guy who was prepared to go long distance, right?
He scored half of Bangladesh's total. Yeah.
And the problem over there was you had Ladon Das coming in and Shakib Al Hasan, like they all tried to attack the game, but I feel like they needed to get in first and then try attack, but they all just went in and tried washing the ball from get-go. And I feel like they had to score a decent amount of runs before they could start doing it. Like I get that even they probably wanted to get a result, and Shakib was like, this might be my last test match, so I'm going to do as much as possible. But I feel like the need of the hour in that point was to just stick around for a little while, get a hang of the pitch, and then you can start, going for the runs.
Yeah, I think the hype from Pakistan is still on their heads, and like, hey, we've done this in Pakistan, let's do it. But it's a completely different set of conditions, different set of bowlers. You could do it against anyone in the world, but not against Bumrah with the way he's, the line freedom with the way he bowls. Right? We don't know how he does it, but I think there's a repeat of hitting the top of off stump again in this game, and he just does it consistently. So and Indian spinners are pretty hard to take on, especially in the Indian subcontinent pitches. So they got. I'm sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you see Rohit Sharma's catch and Siraj's catch?
Oh wow!
It was like a big bear just like leaping up in the air to get the ball, and he's like, oh shit! I plucked it.
Catching it was sort of catching a bullet out of thin air. He himself was so
Was it?
surprised. He
Was it?
got the ball and he
Yeah.
was running around like, oh my god, I just pulled off something really good.
Was it? Was a quick gun Morgan moment for him.
um, and Siraj as well. I'm like that
Oh,
catch.
that was so hard.
It's the
I
ball
think
travels
he
and it
initially
just
overran it, right?
yeah.
He initially overran it, and then he had to go back. And then he was at an angle when he caught the ball.
Yeah, anything that you hit behind the wicket, it usually
Yeah.
takes that angle with you, so it starts drifting apart, drifting away from you, and it's one of those tough catches to get in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
both of them were amazing catches. But
Oh,
talking about Rohit and his catching, I think in second innings, he did manage to rob a couple of them up as well.
yeah. Easy catches or hard catches?
I must say at this point, regulation first slip catches
Yeah.
against, they usually
I
slip.
remember one of the catches was like it dropped short, right? It wasn't a catch.
The one of them, got
Yeah,
a
okay.
drive a bit front. But the
Yeah.
other one, I think, was
So
against
the man can't drive it. He's got a bit of thing going on.
Hey,
There's no driving fun for that.
he's improved his fitness, right? He does. The man
Yeah,
does
sure.
look in shape between T20 World Cup and this series. So, whatever he's put
If
in.
the shape was round, yes.
um, uh, the other interesting point in this entire series as of now is it hasn't been a pure spinners taking the game away, right? And there hasn't
Yeah,
been
because
I think except for the second innings where Ashwin got a 5-4 in the previous game, the rest of the games have always been, there's 4 wickets from pacers and 3 from spinners distributed.
I'm very sure these pitches are dialed down so that 2 brown teams can come and compete. Because they know for sure India would struggle just as hard if the pitch was spinning. Because Shakib Al Hassan and Mehdi Miraz Hassan, they're both so good that we would start. And Tajul Islam.
Yeah.
All 3 could boss us around if the pitch had a bit more zip and turn in it. So you'll see the difference as soon as a non-subcontinent team comes in, like New Zealand comes in.
New Zealand
You'll see what
Ryan Turner's
like
turning on day one.
rain hitters are coming up, and we want the points. So it's gonna happen.
I think New Zealand, the spinner that guy, Aziz
Ajaz
Ahmed?
Khan.
Ajaz Khan.
Ajaz Patel. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Ajaz
we've
Patel.
basically butchered his name quite a bit in just 1 minute. He had a 10-4 in India, previous
Yeah.
outing, so, and he's just wrapped up a 6-4 in the last innings. So I think he's on a roll. So I guess when New Zealand tours, he's a key bowler to watch here.
Yeah. The only thing is they need a second spinner who's at his level, so that that they don't have India just scoring freely on the other side. And Santner's decent, but I feel like, I mean, I'm sure he's improved a lot more since last time they went there. So you'll definitely bite a big chunk of Ajaz's wickets.
Yeah, I think, to me, even Rachin could be one of those part-time spinners that could be
They're
important.
not bowling him though. They're not bowling. Even in Sri Lanka, they didn't bowl him.
Yeah, that's where I was headed to, saying because he is a decent spinner, at least part-time, right? And you gotta use him on a pitches, especially on spin assisting pitches, like the Sri Lanka or even India. Just throw him into the mix, right? You never know. Aussies threw Travis Head into the mix, and we now know what a dangerous person he's going to turn out into.
I see. Look, Travis Head came out when he first started. He started as a batting all rounder, and then he just became an out and out batter. Yeah, very solid turn.
I think they've bought the spinner out of him, the bowling guy out of him. So I was missing Rachin doing a bit of bowling, especially in Test, right? Give a break to your main bowler, throw him into the mix, right? And just see what he brings in. And he's young, right? He's got a lot of career ahead of him. he could learn. He could learn. He could
Yeah.
definitely get from these experiences playing in subcontinents, because it's completely different to what New Zealand has to offer at home, right? So
Yeah.
throw him into the mix.
I'm sure if India bet as long as Sri Lanka did, Gretchen will have a go. But to be honest, I don't know if India has it in them to score 600. Like just the patience.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about this. We need quick 30s in T20s, but we need grinding, 20, 30, 40
150.
strike rate based innings in test matches. I think one half of it has been sorted with the quick 30s in T20s. We could all see the results speaking for themselves. Yeah, but test, I'm still nervous about the tour to Australia.
I feel like as long as they do decent here, and I'm sure they'll pull out at least one draw in Australia. I know
Yes,
you want them to win, but
yeah,
I reckon one draw is all they need after that.
I want a hat trick, but I think the key series is the New Zealand series. We gotta win
Yeah.
against the second test against Bangladesh today, which is going to be very interesting to watch later on. Then you gotta
Yeah.
win all three against New Zealand. And that will set the
Yeah.
tone perfectly for that one win or one draw in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Um. So
uh,
okay, let's go down to predictions.
yes,
What's the prediction for this game? India wins or draw?
yeah, see, I want to give a bit of a chance to a credit to Bangladesh, and especially with Sakib likely to finish his career. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a draw. They're gonna magically bat out today.
On a fifth day, that you think they can survive Jadeja and Ashwin?
I'm placing my bets on Bangladesh to bat out.
Yeah, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. It's a
What do
good
you
place to
get?
round off, then.
Sorry?
Uh, a good place for us to round off. But yeah, I think India wins. India wins. They'll start the chase in the second half of session two. They'll get 1.5 sessions to chase it down, whatever these guys score, which
If
won't
that,
be.
I mean, highly likely that's where things are going to be headed to it. And again, it's going to be a pure delight to anyone that's going to
Oh,
watch the game at the Kanpur Stadium.
yeah. It's no longer a test match. This is a T20 game now.
I'd probably
It
say
was
it's a
excellent. Yeah.
classic, a 50 over. It's a classic 1 day game. It depends on how both of the teams are going to decide to split that 90 overs. Is it bat
Yeah.
30 and then 50, play for 50 overs Bangladesh and give India 40 overs, or you never know. But it's going to be a
Plus the
pure delight to watch.
pitch is pretty tricky, I reckon, now, because towards the end of the day, it did become pretty hard. And as soon as the ball gets a little bit soft, oh, Ashwin's gonna be like,
Yeah. And other key bit to
um,
watch out today is, I mean, from a weather perspective, there's no rain forecasted, so 100% sure to have a full day of the game, but
oh,
it
so good.
is
So good.
extremely hot. I mean, it's only 33, but
Yeah,
it feels very, very hot out in the middle. So
can
that's
imagine.
something that both the teams have
It's
to
great.
back.
Both teams are brown. They'll be fine. They'll be used to it.
Cool. I think that's probably where we would call this episode wrap. But stay tuned for our upcoming episodes where we're gonna talk much about Indian series against New Zealand, South Africa, a lot of other Test cricket going on, and also the new rules for IPL ahead of mega auction. We gotta definitely bring it out and discuss. Dhoni is gonna be an uncapped player, so they're doing rule
Well,
changes to have him in the game. So there's a lot of
well,
us lined up.
but caveat, right? It's not just applied to him. Some other people like Piyush Chawla, Amit Mishra, they're all
Yes.
gonna benefit more. lot more hits, Sharma. They're all going to benefit from this rule.
Yeah, they would, but I think heavily driven by CSK.
Yeah. Oh, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Cool. So stay tuned for hearing us talk about all of these interesting gossips and juicy bits that are happening around cricket world. Like us, share us, subscribe to our channel. You could see all the episodes somewhere up there. Subscribe link somewhere up down here. And yeah, until next time, I've got the ball ready. We've got the slip fielders ready. Let's go some catching done. See you, everyone.
I'm ready, sir.